As the most used SaaS service, Office 365 has become a prime target for attacks. The primary attack method is password phishing, leading to fraudulent password resets. The majority of organizations and users utilize the same password to access Active Directory and Office 365, either through single sign-on or password sync. Reduce risk by moving away from password-based only authentication for Office 365. Specops Authentication for Office 365's dynamic MFA engine supports all MFA factors. With over 15 forms of authentication available out of the box, IT admins can create MFA policies that can secure the Office 365 login while minimizing user experience disruption with the following capabilities. Specops Authentication Admin Interface. Specops Authentication for Office 365 is a hybrid solution. A lightweight service known as the Gatekeeper gets installed in your environment to bridge the gap between the Specops Authentication cloud servers and your Active Directory. All sensitive information is stored in your Active Directory. No passwords or user enrollment data is stored in the Specops cloud. Admins can configure various MFA policies to secure updates to user enrollment and access to admin pages. Admins set up federated trust between their domain and Office 365. This will direct users to Specops Authentication when signing into Office 365. Additionally, admins can also use the solution to provision and assign Office 365 licenses to users upon first login. This can either be driven by cloud policy or existing group policy settings. Admins will decide how many stars or weights they want users to enroll with versus how many are required on future sign-ins to Office 365 when federated with Specops Authentication. This flexibility allows users to have the choice when authenticating in the event that an identity service or authentication factor is unavailable. Admins can add the identity services they want to enable as part of the authentication policy and assign star values to each to reflect perceived security level. This allows users to satisfy the authentication policy with fewer higher security services. Specops Authentication for Office 365, User Enrollment and Authentication. Once an organization has set up Specops Authentication for Office 365, when a user tries to log into Office 365, they are redirected to Specops Authentication for Office 365 to enroll in MFA. To access the system, the user will have to enter their Windows credentials. To complete enrollment, the user will have to enroll with enough identity services or MFA options to satisfy the enrollment policy. In this case, since the user logged in using Windows credentials, the Windows Identity Service is automatically enrolled, so the user has already collected 1 star. The user decides to enroll with mobile code, where she is sent a code to her mobile phone that needs to be entered here. Once done, she collects 2 additional stars. To complete enrollment, the user needs to collect 1 more star, so she decides to enroll the Specops Authenticator one-time passcode app. The user needs to open up the app on her phone and scan the QR code and input the numeric code provided. Once done, enrollment is complete, but the user can collect additional stars if she wants to have alternate options. Once enrolled in Specops Authentication for Office 365, when the user tries to log in to Office 365, she is redirected to complete MFA. To complete authentication, the user only has to collect 3 stars versus the 4 stars required for enrollment. This is to ensure that she will have alternate options to complete authentication in the event that one fails or is unavailable. Here, the user has 2 options, and she has already collected 1 star by authenticating with her Windows identity when signing in to her computer. She only needs to collect 2 more. She chooses to satisfy the policy using mobile code. Upon entering the code she receives on her mobile device, she is allowed to access Office 365 resources.